coming from a place called Herzebrock, which is not far from here, say about 9 miles. And he was initially a bricklayer. So his name in that place, little village, was known for good work. And he was actually not happy. He wanted more, he wanted to learn something, so he went somewhere into northern Germany and attended a technical college. And he came back and said, okay, we've got to improve things. What's around? And you came exactly through this area, which is the very flat, very rural, say the Bay of Münsterland, and everything very flat, smaller farms, and that was the surrounding where he lived in and where he grew up. And he said, okay, what do we have? We have lots of farms, and on the farms mostly the housework is hard work. And he came up with the idea of improving those machines. He was then looking for a partner, a potential partner, and for his perfect match, because he was more the technically oriented person, and he found Mr. Zinkan. Mr. Zinkan was a salesman traveling around, not coming from the area, but coming from, it's 80 kilometers, so say 65 miles from here, and he was the born salesperson. So they met, and as we do it here in Westphalia, we drink a glass of beer together, and that was a match they found. And from the first moment on, Mr. Zinkan thought he wanted to be the secret partner. That's actually the reason why we end up calling the company Miele und Sie. Miele et Compagnie, which is the old French expression for and partner. It's not anymore modern here, but it's Miele and Co.
Quite traditional.
Very traditional, once again. And yeah, that's the reason why we call the company most of all Miele. Then, well, they started their business, and you're going to see the products in a minute. It's butter churns, but as a second product, before you've got to skim the milk. And that were the two products they started with, very rural. And they bought an old mill and started a business with 11 employees, as you can see it here. Were very successful with the products, and 8 years later, the company was grown quite quickly up to 63 employees. 63 people working for them in a place, Herzebrock, where there were 500 inhabitants. What did they have? A classic human resource problem. They couldn't grow anymore. There were no skilled workers anymore. So for that reason, they decided to go into a bigger place. They were looking for a plot of land where they could grow at a bigger time. And therefore, both here, on site in Gütersloh, because there was an old factory, bankrupt. They were producing old pumps, these hand pumps. On site, they had a foundry, which was great, because they could use part of the foundry to make parts of their products, as you see it in a few minutes. And that's what they found here, place to grow. In the meantime, up to now, we've basically more than doubled the surface of our factory here in Gütersloh. And yeah, 8 years after founding the company in 1899, so in 1907, we moved into this place. That was one reason, the human factor. The second was better logistics. We just came and crossed under the train line. The train line is the main train line linking nowadays Cologne and Berlin. So better logistics was the second reason.
Or Paris and Moscow.
Yes, extended thinking, more global. Yeah, but do me a favor, keep this in mind, the train and logistics factor. Maybe till tomorrow. And yeah, that was basically the reasons why we came here. So since 1907, we're here in Gütersloh. We have here our headquarters, the main administration, and the biggest production site for domestic laundry care So for washers and dryers of domestic use, that's produced here. We nearly have 5,000 people working here for Miele in Gütersloh. Traditional family-owned company. Family-owned company. What does that mean? We are not stock listed. Family-owned means the two families own this company. Everything you see in the next days, where there's a big Miele logo on it, is basically invested by the companies. Yeah. That's something which is probably a bit old-fashioned, yeah? Especially in times where the worldwide economy is not very easy, as we faced it in the last few years. On the other hand, it gives you a quite comfortable situation, because and we see it here, first generation, second generation, third generation, and we are now in the fourth generation of ownership of the Miele and Zinkert family. It gives them a lot of freedom of decision. What they say is, we don't have to make the quick money. We think long term. And yeah, they don't have to think in quarters for the quarterly report of their shareholders. That gives them freedom of decision. Quite cool. Yeah. This room is basically a mental preparation for being in a museum, bringing you into a certain atmosphere. Where do we come from? Washing 100 years ago is written here. And this is a scene from an old trailer that was on cinemas in 1930, showing the hard work of housewife doing the washing day. I learned that it was once a month that they did it. Before they did it even every, say, well, half year. Washing was hard work, and you see the accessories that they used. Boiling hot water, piece of soap, and scratch a bit of soap into it. Yeah, all these accessories, and that was a lot of work to do. What they did is every Saturday they took a bath, the whole family, and changed clothes. But we had different clothes, different fabrics, as you see it here, and the surrounding here is Bielefeld as a town is known to be the linen production town in Germany. Actually, in the years of the industrialization in Europe, 80% of the production capacity in Europe was found in Bielefeld. Yeah. So the linen town, and this is different fabrics, tougher, not like our sports gear today. Yeah, so hard work, and the intention of Mr. Miele was always to improve and give more time rather than have the hard work in the household. The basic idea of the museum was to go away, and we had two other versions of a Miele museum before, which, with the greatest respect, were old and dark collections of stuff. I felt it when there were groups of visitors. 15 minutes, everybody was rushing in. 15 minutes later, ready. Now it's a bit different, and with the help of some students from a local university, they came up with the idea of guiding everybody, also individual visitors who can come for free and just have a look, follow the red thread, guiding them through the first 100 years of the Miele history.